Making headlines. President extends warm congratulations to Prime Minister and the people of Lithuania on their restorations of State Day. Discussions aimed at bolstering cooperation in tourism with China.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu to PSM News in English. It's a warm congratulations to President Gitanas Nauseda. Message conveyed heartfelt greetings from the Maldivian government, personal wishes for their continued good health and happiness and for the ongoing progress and prosperity of Lithuania. The Restoration Day of State Day marks the signing of the Act of Independence on 16th of February 1918, a landmark event that established Lithuania's sovereignty and national identity. The Maldives and Turkey holds extensive discussions aimed at bolstering cooperation in tourism and culture. These deliberations were conducted during a high-level meeting between Abdurrahim Abdul Latif, the Maldivian ambassador to Turkey, and Mehmet Nuri Ersoy, the Turkish Minister of Culture and Tourism. The meeting held at the Ministry of Culture and Tourism in Ankara underscored the shared commitment of both nations to strengthen bilateral ties in these vital sectors. The discussions centered on various strategies to enhance mutual cooperation and promote cultural exchange. Highlighting the critical importance of joint efforts, Ambassador Latif and Minister expert potential collaborative projects and the benefits of fostering a deeper cultural connection between the Maldives and Turkey. One of the key topics was the augmentation of direct flight routes between the two nations, aimed at facilitating greater tourist flow and economic exchange. The meeting was attended by Abdul Waris Said, the Maldivian Deputy Ambassador to Turkey, and Ismail Niaz, the Second Secretary of the Maldivian Embassy in Turkey. The Ministry of Fisheries and Ocean Resources, in partnership with China's Fujian Fisheries Research Institute, launches an extensive training program focused on sea cucumber aquaculture, algae cultivation, fish aquaculture, and the conservation of fish resources. The program was launched as part of the concerted effort to enhance marine resource management. The initiative was inaugurated at the request of the Maldivian Fisheries Ministry, aiming to counter the declining populations of sea cucumbers and groupers in the region's waters. According to the ministry, the program offers in-depth instruction on sea cucumber aquaculture, including the preparation and proper management of their food. To lead the training, 6 experts from the Fujian Fisheries Research Institute have traveled to the Maldives. It said that over the course of the 7-day program held in Maniafushi Atoll, these experts will share their knowledge with 20 officials from the Fisheries Ministry. This collaboration marks a significant milestone. It's the first joint effort between the Maldives Fisheries Ministry and the Chinese institution in such a program. Minister of Economic Development and Trade Mohammed Said says that the government will place necessary measures against any price hikes of food items during the upcoming holy month of Ramadan. Minister Said provided the much needed reassurance during the 4th forum of the AHA series, through which the government provides direct answers to citizens' questions, which was held on Saturday evening.
The minister said this administration has continued to largely maintain the inflation rate at 3%. He added that the government had managed to keep prices of food items stable during last Ramadan, made possible by President Dr. Mohammad Moises' decision to constitute a special committee to monitor and oversee any price fluctuations. Under a similar arrangement and measures, the minister expressed confidence that the government would be able to keep prices stable during this Ramadan, scheduled to begin on 1st March. Referring to a World Bank report last year, Minister Said said, though the World Bank had forecasted Maldives inflation to cross 7%, the government, through proactive measures, has managed to keep inflation below 3%. He said the cabinet had formulated and implemented a policy on the direct instructions of the president. According to him, the government is ready to quickly step in if there is any hike in prices on the essentials list. The minister had also urged private suppliers, wholesalers and retailers to take additional measures to mitigate a rise in prices, asking them to share any difficulties or challenges faced with the government. Responding to a question on the recently introduced bunkering services in the Maldives, Minister said previous governments had not given any emphasis to developing the sector. He said in the past 5 months since the initiative was launched, the country had made great strides in further developing the sector, insisting that this venture will prove hugely beneficial to Maldives' economy. He revealed that State Trading Organization STO has already brought in 2 shipments so far, with the third en route. He also said a special law on international bunkering has been drafted, which marks a first for the island nation. However, the minister did admit the Maldives is facing several challenges, especially from neighboring countries that have already developed offshore bunkering facilities. He said Maldives has lagged behind as previous governments had not attached any significance to developing this sector. Minister Said said the construction of a storage facility for bunkering services in Horafashi, Halif Atoll will begin this year, adding that the construction of a port and a terminal will take international bunkering services in the Maldives to new heights.
Minister of Economic Development and Trade Mohammad Said denies links between the decrease in import duty revenue to the Free Trade Agreement FTA with China.
The China-Maldives FTA came into effect on 1st January, where it was expected to provide significant relief to various sectors by facilitating access to materials and tools, easing the burden faced by local businesses. Just a little over a month after the FTA came into effect, the latest revenue figures have shown a considerable drop in import duty revenue, which has been linked to the FTA. However, Minister Said, during the 4th forum of the AHA series, through which the government provides direct answers to citizens' questions, held Saturday evening, explained that the revenue decline has no connection to the FTA. According to him, goods worth 1 billion rupiah or $64.9 million were imported to the country since January this year, and its CIF value is worth 34 million rupiah or $2.2 million. The minister said out of that, FTA relief amount to 2.3 million rupiah or $149,157. Speaking about the benefits of the FTA, minister said that Maldives and other larger countries will have contrasting views on the formulation and implementation of such agreements. He said as Maldives is heavily dependent on imports, the Maldives will benefit the most from such agreements. According to Minister Said, easing businesses and maintaining commodity prices is the primary objective of incumbent President Dr. Mohammad Moise, adding that efforts towards that are ongoing through the Maldives Industrial Development Free Zone MIDFZ company.
The government will look to work with local councils to exploit the immense potential of cultural tourism in the Maldives, Minister of Tourism and Environment Tariq Ibrahim has said. Minister Tariq made these remarks during the 4th forum of the AHA series, through which the government provides direct answers to citizens' questions, which was held on Saturday evening.
Explaining the president's recent decision to merge tourism and environment, Minister Tariq insisted that the two areas are quite closely interrelated, adding that over 65% of tourists visit the Maldives to experience its natural beauty. He also said the merging of the two portfolios would further ease efforts for sustainable tourism practice in the Maldives. The minister said that the recent uptick in tourism has coincided with the increase in the demand for local tourism by visiting tourists, noting that recent Rashu Expo aimed at promoting local tourism as a prime example. Referring to the efforts being made to develop the tourism sector, the minister said the government will do everything possible to develop tourism in the islands. He said along with establishing utilities and basic facilities in the tourism areas, individual guest houses operators will also receive assistance from the government. The world-renowned tourism destination had witnessed the highest number of tourist arrivals in a single year in its 52-year tourism history. According to the tourism figure, a total of 2,047,435 tourists has holidayed in the Maldives in 2024. This is a 9% increase from the 1,878,543 tourists from 2023. This marks the first time Maldives has welcomed 2 million tourists to its shore in the calendar year. The government aimed to improve tourist occupancy and bring in 15% more tourists this year than last year, while boosting tourism revenue to $5 billion.
Minister of Islamic Affairs Dr. Muhammad Shahim Ali Saeed says that the ongoing efforts to revamp the Hajj pilgrimage framework would see lower pilgrimage fares for the island nation before the end of the 5-year term of this administration. Minister Dr. Shahim made these remarks during the 4th forum of the AHA series, through which the government provides direct answers to citizens' questions, which was held on Saturday evening.
Speaking during the forum, the minister said President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu has attached a special emphasis to revamping and streamlining the system to offer better service for Maldivian Umrah and Hajj pilgrims. According to the minister, the Maldives Hajj Corporation is working to reduce the Hajj fares for local under the directive of the president. He expressed belief that a positive change will come during this term. The minister also noted that a recent policy change had brought much needed relief to thousands of Maldivians who have waited for years to perform the sacred pilgrimage, as the island nation receives an annual 1,000 quota from Saudi Arabia for local pilgrims. According to the Maldives Hajj Corporation, there are currently 9,115 people on the waiting list for Hajj pilgrimage. Of these, 8,623 people are seeking their first Hajj pilgrimage. President Dr. Mohammad Muizz has announced the decisions to revise the present Hajj quota policy to give precedence to first-time pilgrims, given renewed hope for the people on the long wait list. The decision was taken to revise the policy, offer a solution for the long list people of waiting to perform second Hajj pilgrimage for the first time. Minister Dr. Shahim said the cabinet has decided to give a special concession to the elderly and those with special circumstances from next year Hajj pilgrimage. Highlighting the significant achievements of the Ministry of Islamic Affairs during the past year, the minister said last year saw the most number of people paying zakat, while the government has managed to restore public faith in the system. The minister also noted that the zakat fund plays an important role in providing assistance to the needy in the society. In addition, he said more than 40 projects are underway this year to develop and renovate mosques throughout the country.
Minister of Higher Education, Labour and Skills Development Dr. Ali says that the government will closely monitor private educational institutions to ensure that necessary standards are being met. Speaking during the 4th forum of the AHA series, through which the government provides direct answers to citizens' questions, Minister Dr. Ali Haider said that the most important function under the ministry's mandate is to ensure high-quality education which is acceptable to the people.
He said that the most important thing is to ensure that the quality of teaching in all higher education institutions and whether the qualification framework set by the government is followed, adding that the Maldives Qualification Authority MQA remains the foremost responsibility of this effort. The minister said the government is closely monitoring to ensure that teaching in government-run institutions as well as private institutions meet the standards set by the qualification framework. Responding to the questions over the delay in arranging regular payments for state-funded degree programs, the minister said the biggest obstacle remains lack of documents. Minister Haider urged students to check the documents carefully before submission to avoid delays in processing payments. In addition, the minister said that the government is putting in a lot of effort to produce skilled and educated people in the Maldives, added that a separate initiative is being formulated to offer higher education opportunities from the Maldives for foreign students.
Indian youth flag privacy is a major concern as India's markets regulator seeks broader powers from the government to remove unauthorized financial advice from social media platforms such as WhatsApp and Telegram and to access their call records for investigations into market violations. Students in various cities, while appreciating the regulator's step, also cast apprehensions on the potential access of their social media records. This is the second time since 2022 that the Securities and Exchange Board of India has sought such powers, with approval from the government still pending. The request comes as the regulator has intensified investigations into market violations and clamped down on unregulated financial advice circulating on social media. Social media companies have also not complied with the government's request for access to their call data records and groups and channels, despite an earlier meeting with the regulator. WhatsApp groups and Telegram channels have become popular among market participants, with financial influencers sharing trading tips on specific stocks and other securities in return for money. Demonstrators marched to the U.S. Embassy in Dublin on Saturday, February 15th, during a protest against U.S. President Donald Trump and the actions he has taken in the first weeks of his presidency.
Occupation is a crime!
Carrying banners reading "Stop Arming Israel" and "Freedom and Justice for Palestine," demonstrators marched peacefully, shouting "Free, Free Palestine."
So I think we've seen both in the Biden administration now and the Trump administration that the US has been a really strong and consistent ally of Israel as they execute genocide in Gaza and as they execute ethnic cleansing in the West Bank, as Israel annexes the Golan Heights and just flouts international law. And it seems that while you might get the occasional statement of, oh, we don't approve of that, but now that tack has very much changed, we still get the US sending millions, billions of dollars worth of arms and weapons and support to Israel to do what they're doing. And it's not good enough. We can't hold countries to different standards. If this was Russia doing it, we would be rightly calling it out, we would be rightly sanctioning it. And yet we've seen no action. And it's not good enough.
In shock announcement on February 4th, after meeting Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Washington, Trump proposed resettling Gaza's 2.2 million Palestinians and the US taking control of the seaside enclave, redeveloping it into the Riviera of the Middle East.
Well, we're protesting and have marched to the US Embassy in Dublin because of the absolutely blatant and outrageous threat by Donald Trump to ethnically cleanse 2 million people from Gaza. After 16 months of genocide being committed by Israel with the support of the United States and Western governments, Trump goes even further now and threatens the ethnic cleansing, a crime against humanity, against the people of Gaza. And we're here to say that we are standing with the people of Gaza. We support their resistance against this horrendous plan and demanding that the Irish government do not bend the knee to Donald Trump.
Trump's suggestion of Palestinian displacement has been repeatedly rejected by Gaza residents and Arab states and labeled by rights advocates and the United Nations as a proposal of ethnic cleansing. Trump's comments came after a fragile ceasefire was reached last month between Israel and Hamas.
Karim Benzema was on target as he helped lead Al Ittihad to a 4-1 thrashing of Al Wahda to put his side 4 points clear of their nearest challengers in the Saudi Pro League title race.
Roughly 3/4 of the play.
Mohamed Al Shankidi was first on the board for the visiting side when he beat a defender and booted a low ball past the goalkeeper in the 35th minute. Al Wahda equalized 7 minutes later of a long ball fired on target by Javid Al Yamik. But Benzema put Al Ittihad back on top with a low boot just 3 minutes later. Second half goals by Steven Bergwijn and Hussam Aura made it a 4-1 for the Jeddah-based team. The wins put Al Ittihad on 52 points from 20 matches, 4 clear of Al Hilal, who have fallen back and sit on 48 points after drawing in each of their last 2 matches. Al Nassr is another 4 points back on 44, though they have clawed back points with a winning streak in recent weeks after a sluggish start to the campaign.
Amanda Anisimova claims her first WTA 1000 title when she beat Jelena Ostapenko 6-4, 6-3 in the final of the Qatar Open on Saturday, which will see the American break into top 20 for the first time in her career.
Ranked 41 in the world, Anisimova also became the lowest ranked player to win the tournament as she beat 6 top 40 opponents en route in her third singles title. The American was ranked as low as 359 in 2023 when she took a break from the game due to burnouts, as it took a toll on her mental health, but the 23-year-old has been on the rise since her comeback and is set to move up to 18th in the rankings. Anisimova is only the second American to win the title, following in the footsteps of Monica Seles in 2002, while Ostapenko has now finished runner-up in Doha for a second time, having also lost in the 2016 final.
And that's all we have for this hour. Thank you for watching. Wish you all a very pleasant time ahead.
මේ හෆ්තාගේ තුවද ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් කරමන්ති බෙෆ්නා හැම මාලුමාත් හිසා කුරමුන් දානි කුර්දු ප්‍රශි සිටි එක වෙම්කෝ ඉඳ මුන්දා ඛිදමත් ක මාලුමාත් ක
දිවි රාජ්‍යයක මිකුණීගේ මස්සලේ කි බොඩු මස්සලේක වෙකකම එහෙන්නම වෙම්කෝ ගෙදුම කුර්දු හරි විශේෂම මිහාර වළුමෙන් නම් ඒ මස්සල වර බොඩු තනු මිවණි හල්ලු වෙෆා
වෙන් හැම කෙනෙක් ගොන්ජමකි සයිට් තෙරේක ජාග देवगतंग आलन में नन्हे तो ये आलन में कुनी बाकी कुरमट्टा